I'm not doing so much because I'm trying to do it in one stroke. I feel like gives it a bit of a more natural look. Okay, that isn't too bad. So for some reason, seems like these last two streams that I've done, it's sort of Twitch is sort of cutting the stream like after a few minutes. Yesterday did the same, and it seems so odd. I don't know what might be causing that. Like that's how it appears on my Twitch page, but then here over on the Twitch studio, I only see that the video has going on was going on for 8 minutes. So I don't really understand what's happening. Really, it's very odd. Okay, let's continue with the braid. I don't know. I turned the piece around for most of the work on line art because it was really, really uncomfortable to make sense of the proportions and everything in her position. At least in my mind, I couldn't see it as well, and I'm not sure if I should turn it back again for the rest of the braid because I already feel like I'm doing it wrong, and I just started. I'm gonna try it for a bit, and if I don't feel comfortable, then I'll turn the canvas around. Okay, my mind is already playing games with me with the braid. Let's see. Okay, hopefully like this. Yeah. It's so strange because, I can see the shapes. I just, for some reason, my brain doesn't work the same. So odd. I'm gonna draw the first metal piece on this braid. No, I don't like that. Line crosses over with line, and it doesn't look good. Okay, that's better. One little trick when you're drawing things like this is always try to find the path, around that seems natural to you. So for me, I think it will do something like this. So I'm going to continue the braid here, and I think that will look a bit more natural. Try to do this because I've seen a lot of beginner artists make this mistake, and then like having this here and then the braid will pull out here. It could happen, especially on a braid that's sort of floating around and has its own physics. But in other things that I've seen people do, it won't fit. So that's just a little advice. I've always done this and it's always played well enough. I'm actually going to leave that line. If you feel like you need it, just do it. A lot of times I draw across something to know where it's going. To be honest, one of the main reasons I wanted to draw Jinx was for her hair. I really don't like her as much as a character. Like, I think they did well with how she's, representing trauma and all of that, but I don't know, she didn't get to me as much as other characters, and definitely she was not one of my favorites, as it seems to be for other people. I don't know why, it's just what happened to me, but I do admit that her character design was seemed interesting to me, and I guess it's just because I love to draw hair, and she has a lot of hair, and the braids seems to, like, when you're watching the show, the braids seem to have its own personality of sorts. Like, they move at its own rhythm. It's very distinct and it's very fun, and that's one of the things I liked about Jinx, and her character design. I do think that the character design in this show is pretty much brilliant with most characters, though. I find them all pretty fun and interesting, but obviously everyone is going to have their preferences, right? Although, if I had my way about drawing someone from Arcane, I would probably have drawn. Oh my god, I can't remember her name right now. Let me Google her. Sometimes I'm very bad with names. I can't believe it because she's a main character and she's like last on the Mel. Yeah, that. I really liked her aesthetics. She was so gorgeous. But as I'm doing fan art for a convention, I just didn't think that she will sell as well as Jinx or Vi fan art. And sadly, I really don't like to do fan art just for the sake of do fan art. But when you're going to conventions, is basically what you have to do, because people want to see certain things in a convention. Sorry, I had a loss of thoughts because I was looking at the references. But yeah, the people want to see certain things when they go to a convention, and if something is in fashion, like, they will want to see things like this. And if you try to be a little more original, I think a lot of times people won't buy it because it's not what they're looking for. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe if I did a piece of Mel, it will sell as well. But the thing is, if I did have more time, I will try and maybe do both, but I don't. The convention is like a week away, a week and a few days away, and I'm still struggling to finish this composition because it's a big composition. I wanted to do something that was a bit more original, not just plain portrait like I did with others, like Squid Game. Still, I enjoyed doing the Squid Game portrait, don't get me wrong, but I did it like that because I didn't know anything about Squid Game. I haven't watched it yet, so yeah, I didn't have enough information, I don't think, to do something much more complicated. I'm not sure if I'm making this braid way too long in comparison. I think I should be near finishing it. So what I think is, yeah, I think I'm gonna move it a bit. I think I'm gonna still follow that. I think it fits. But I'm gonna hide this part a little bit. Conclusions of looking at the references. She has a little narrow part here, but a pretty long way to go till the end of the braid. So I'm gonna add up a little bit more, not too much. It's definitely not as much as in the reference and probably in reality because the braids bare almost touched the floor, and here I don't think they do. But it's fine. I mean, it doesn't need to be exactly the same. So about the conventions, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe, as I said, maybe I would have done a different thing and it would have gone really well in the convention. I can't be sure. But I'd rather not risk it, you know. I have limited time to do these things. I still have to prep a bunch of merch and make sure I have everything ready and all of that. And I need to finish this and do all the prints and stickers and everything that I need to get done. So I'd rather go with something more sure and maybe it will be easier for me to sell that way. Also, I'm a bit in this mindset now because last time I went to a convention, I mean, it wasn't entirely bad. I think people really liked my stuff, don't get me wrong. In fact, it was the first time I saw people react to my stuff. I mean, people I don't know personally, you know, like family, friends of family and stuff like that. Um, and it was great. Like I felt that people really liked my work. People will stop and, you know, stare at everything. People will sign at some of the things I had on my table from afar and come to look at them. So I will think that, you know, people liked my stuff, and with that of that I'm really happy, and it made me feel really great. The thing is, it didn't translate in as many sales, and I don't know why is this. Maybe because I didn't fit the style of the normal conventions. Like I don't do chibis or anything like that. Maybe it was just because it was my first time and there was a lot of things that I didn't know, or maybe it was just, you know, I took too many things of Ghibli, and you know, I thought that maybe as it was a Japan weekend, a Japan themed convention. Japan Weekend is the name of the convention, by the way. I thought that maybe there will be a lot more Ghibli fans, and they were like people bought my stuff. But the problem is that everyone has something of Ghibli, even the smallest, um most, you know, beginner stand that barely has any art will have something from Ghibli, and there's others that mainly only had stuff that was in fashion at the moment, but everyone will have something of Ghibli. So by the time people got to my stand, it was like very, very possible that they had come across something that they liked from Ghibli and they had bought. And in fact, I saw a couple of people looking at a few of my compositions of Ghibli and literally slammed their head in their like with their palms and with an expression of, oh my god, I don't have any money left, and they were looking at a certain print. I don't know which one, and I don't want to criticize anyone obviously, but they were like, I could tell from their expression, and my boyfriend saw this as well, so he confirmed that I wasn't making this up, that people were really like, people were sorry they bought that print instead of mine, and they were like, I don't have any money left now, and of course I can't go and return it, right? But yeah, like that will happen a lot. It's a huge convention. Like there's probably around 600 people, stands, I mean, from artists. A lot of them will be double because people share stands a lot in this convention, I've realized. So just imagine the quantity of artists there is there. And it's just logical that when they arrived at your stand, maybe they don't have any money left, or maybe they already bought a print from Ghibli and they're not interested in another one. maybe in a sticker. Sometimes that does work because stickers are way less durable in a way. Like, you have to think that the prints are a thing that if they hang in the wall, they basically can last forever, or at least they will last a few years. However, a sticker will not. So that's another thing too. Okay, I'm stopping to look at the braid because I don't want it to be way too big. I'm finishing it off, by the way. This is the last strand. It isn't the best idea to go over that line if you want people to see the braid. Like exactly where that line is. I mean, like if you surpass it like this, it's fine. But yeah, it's definitely a different world, the world of conventions. It's like a lot more hands-on, obviously, but also, you know, you get to see a lot of people really liking your stuff and going away. And, you know, that can hurt your pride a lot. Like, you know that they basically won't have any money or money left or whatever. But, you know, it also frustrates you to think that maybe if they had, if your stand was closer to the entrance, maybe you would have made double of the sales or things like that because it just happens, you know? So it can be a bit frustrating, definitely. Especially if it's the first time and you're not like, I don't have a fan base. Maybe if I did, obviously it would be different. And the funny thing too was that I couldn't help but try to find creators that were bigger, you know, creators that were well known in Spain, basically, that were somehow influencers in their niche. I don't know that many because, in fact, I follow way more artists from outside. I do follow a few Spanish ones, but not that many. And funnily enough, they were the ones that had less preparation in their stands. A lot of them only had a few things. Obviously, they had a lot less fan art because they didn't need it, basically. Which, I mean, is obvious, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're a well known creator, at least you can do your own stuff, that's good. They will have fan art, but way less. And yeah, but I was surprised that there were like stands around that basically, obviously, those people live from conventions. And these creators do go to all the big conventions as well because they're big enough to go to most big conventions, but they aren't as well prepared. Like, I saw certain people that was, I don't know, was incredibly prepared for it. Had a ton of merch, had a ton of varieties, a ton of designs. It's really incredible. I barely have time to make like 3 new designs for the new convention, and they are going to conventions like 3 times a month or something. I don't know. Okay, time to turn our Jinx around. I don't know if her braid is way too big still. I think I'm gonna pull it up a bit more. I'm even thinking. I'm gonna cross it over the shoe. I think it looks good. Yeah, I like it. I feel like now it looks slightly better with the other braid. Maybe I should have made the other braid a bit longer. But I'm really not feeling like going back to that braid again. Okay, tattoo time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm growing slightly exhausted of this drawing. Um, oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't saw the chat because I was looking at the reference. I don't know how long you commented on, by the way. I've been rambling here on my own. I haven't played the game, so I'm not really sure uh, about what you mean exactly. I mean, do you mean her personality or the style or what? I just I saw your comment a bit late. I don't know if you've been here a while. Okay. I'm gonna draw her tattoos now, and lucky for me, I found people are impressive. I found a tattoo reference sheet where someone basically drew her tattoos in a model, front and back. This is impressive. Like the level that people have doing these things is pretty impressive. So I'm gonna use that to guide myself because she has her tattoos over here, and references for are just are hard because you can't really see them properly, not well enough. So this helps a lot. I'm not gonna draw them exactly perfectly well, but it helps to have it there, definitely. I'm gonna draw it with with the same brush but a bit bigger so it's a bit more fluffy. I'm still making it up a bit, by the way, basing it on the reference but not completely. Okay. It's weird because I'm seeing this and I don't know if I've seen her with so many tattoos. Huh. It's a bit made up, but I guess it works. And that will be them finished. Oh my god, I feel like sort of liberated. Okay, I'm gonna draw the background and then like these lines on the background. And then I think I'm gonna add some foliage to the little desk and see how that looks. I'm not even sure. I'm thinking about, like, I had a photo, well, where I based this from, and I showed it in a previous stream. I don't know if I still have it here. No, these are just color references. No. And it has foliage, but I'm thinking about like bringing it out a bit and like it's going in. Well, first I'm gonna do this and then I'll decide what to do with that. I'm not gonna be too worried about this to be perfect. In fact, I think I'm gonna probably tone the opacity down of this later on. I'm doing it from afar because I really don't want to add that many details into that. Probably because it's a change of pace, but I'm feeling a bit happier doing this part than the line art on the braid. I don't know, maybe it's because I had been doing Jinx's line art for like 3 hours and I was a bit fed up with it. You could see that I was like sort of concentrating with it and all. Okay, let's erase all lines going into this. Also, I don't want this to go out of the inside disk. Now, another thing I should deal with, I think I'm going to do it now so I don't forget, is to erase these lines. I made this circle initially. Oh no. I'm not sure. No, I don't think it should go over that. Okay. I wasn't going to do this, but it was bothering me now that I took the rest of the line art off. I felt like it looked unnatural for it not to be continued. It's funny how sometimes a circle comes sort of natural to your hand and other times you have to fight it so much. Okay, I think that looks like a good enough circle. I don't know why I'm so concentrating doing this part. I guess it's because for the first time in a bit, I'm not looking at any reference. I'm just drawing with my initial sketch. And that feels good. For a change of pace, you know. Okay, Vice part is done. Let's. I don't know why I say so compulsively sometimes, but I do. Now on to the clouds. Mm, damn it. I was a bit confused for a moment. Didn't really see the shape there. Okay, like that. Clouds were much faster. As they were a bit more organic, I tried to make them with just one stroke. There wasn't that much need to be precise. I'm looking at my original inspiration from this for this drawing, and I think I'm going to do something. As I said, there's some foliage over there around the disc, and I'm gonna use that. Not exactly as it is on the reference, but I'm gonna use it because I like how it looks. It gives it a bit more. I don't know how to explain it really, but I feel like it helps with everything. I'm gonna turn down the sketch now and just do the lines of this. I think I'm gonna go for a darker green at this point. For some reason, I don't feel I'm very good at drawing foliage. I always get a bit frustrated because they don't seem to look good, like maybe other people do it. But I still try. And sometimes I end up liking it. Also, I feel like I'm never sure where to stop when it comes to leaves and things like that. Um, I'm gonna try to erase this and see it from afar and see if I like it. I think that maybe breaking down slightly the shape of the desk might look nice. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I like the leaves better. But also because they're colored, so I'm not sure. I think I'm going to continue with the leaf thing. See where that gets us. That gets us. I also get very bored very fast with drawing leaves and stuff like this. Because it's so repetitive, and I don't know. Sometimes it's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times I end up finding it a bit annoying. You know what? I think I'm going to copy paste some of these. Okay. At this point, I'm simply experimenting a bit, seeing if I can make this little bush shape into something I like over here. And I thought I wasn't going to, but I think I am liking it now. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that maybe I should add a bit more, maybe over here to tie things up. Let's try that. I think the reason I didn't like it before was because it wasn't colored in. So that's why I thought about doing it this way. Okay, I'm not mad about how that looks. I'm thinking before I go, because I'm a bit tired. Actually, my wrist hurts a bit from all this line art. But I think that before I go, I'm gonna color in the circle a bit and maybe add a bit of a gradient and see that. So it gives a little base to where I will be coloring later. Um, And I did line art in those colors because I was actually thinking about doing the disc in colors like that. So I'm debating, this is some color that I took reference that I liked. I'm not gonna copy any palette in exactly like this is, but I am gonna take colors here and there because I really liked how that look. So I'm between something like this, or like this. I think any of them would work. I'm reeling a bit more towards a bluish tint instead of a green, but I don't know if this will be too dark. So I'm debating a bit. I also think that some shades of this wouldn't hurt, but that will be for later. Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna start with this one. I think it might be a bit too vivid. I don't know. Maybe this one will work. Okay, I'll start with this one. Let's hide that. And okay, so I was definitely thinking lighter, something like this, instead of the original color. I should try another one. Put the colors on top so I always see them. Right, definitely. And too green for my taste. I really like the first color, but I really like that. Let's try. Yeah, to look attention at all. So I'm thinking of adding some noise or something like this. So let me find a texture somewhere in my library and see what could work. Okay. Maybe it's because of the desk or something, but I was thinking that maybe something like this, very softly, would look nice. And I mean very softly because I would only want to give a little bit of a hint of the texture. A lot of times I layer several textures on something to build something different, you know, to give it character. I think this is the type of background will benefit from it. Be too much. And I'm actually thinking I liked one of the beginning. Like if I wanted to see the texture through, something like this will be it. But I don't want that. So I was thinking, I think it was this one actually that caught my attention right at the beginning. Or this one. No, I think it was there. This one will look good too. But I'm thinking this one. Doesn't leave much texture over here, but I don't mind either. These little dots help too. So I'm gonna put it down like this. I don't know if I should make it. The ones you can see are mostly on the bottom, so I'm thinking about doing this. So they're on top. Okay. So I think I'm gonna add something more because this wasn't my initial idea. I wanted something like noise, really. Something like paper texture. Maybe something like this will work nicely. Just gonna adjust it quickly. Oh, this is very interesting. I like that. Gives it a sort of rusty feel. Okay, I'm keeping that one. Mentally, at least. I always try them all, despite having one that I clearly liked so early on, because you never know. For example, something like this might look really cool too. And I'm not even sure. I'm thinking about duplicating it. I'm doing that too. I think I will. Okay, so let's ignore this one for now and do this. Then again, it's not going to be so heavy. I think something like this. A lot of times I adjust the previous ones too when I add more because I don't... As they build up on top of each other, they create other effects. And that's sometimes nice, but sometimes it might be too much. Okay, and now I think it was this. It was sort of like a... yeah, this one. A red casting light. And I really like that. I really think it fits there with the broken heart and fitting them. I think it should hit a bit on their faces. There. I really like that. I don't know if I should push it down because I really like the red tone on it. And it looks especially well because it builds up on top of everything. So I do build up textures a lot of times. I'm just gonna combine them. Is my brain working on them? I am liking it more now that I added that. Is such a simple thing, but it's so well. Oh, there was a problem here. Okay. Yeah. I shouldn't combine them like this. I like a lot of times I have that inkling of combining them, but or maybe first I need to do this. I don't like them as much. I should go back. Okay, and I don't know, I'm having fun right now. I don't know if I should continue for a little longer. I was thinking about adding some shade on the disc with a darker shadow. But not so long. I think I'm just going to do that and stop. But I sort of want to see how that looks with a bit more dimension. Sometimes I get bored coloring in, but a lot of times, like, it depends on the mood, obviously. But there are other times, like now, that I'm sort of liking it, mainly because I feel like I was a bit tired of the line art today. I did a lot of line art today. And I love line art, don't get me wrong. But sometimes, you need a break. I feel like I was tired of line art, not because it was line art, but because it was clothes, and I had to look at so many references to make sure they were alright. It was a bit tiresome to make sure that every single thing was as it should be. Mainly because I had to have more than one reference open. A lot of times I will have to make up things, which is not bad, but you feel a bit tired of always trying to find the right angle and the right pose and the right photo to help you continue. And it feels nice on your wrist to just be able to color like this. We're halfway through the circle, yay! Usually from now on, it's much faster for me. So I'm hoping that I won't be needing that many hours as I have already spent on it to finish it. I think it probably has been about from maybe to 8 hours of line art. I'm not sure, well, plus the sketch, obviously. So it has been a lot. I'm not sure it's gonna take me that long to color everything. Like, I know I'm not gonna do that much to the background. I think I'm mostly gonna leave it as you see. That's why I added the texture and all. I'm probably gonna add some shadows, but it's gonna be soft because I want the focus to be on the characters. And after that, I'm gonna work on the characters. And I don't know. As far as when I think that once the main base colors are done, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought constantly, and I'm saying weird things. I'm sorry. Things that happen when English is not your first language. But yeah, the thing is, once I do the base colors, I think it's gonna be pretty fast, and the rest is just basically fill up everything. So yeah, I'm not sure. What? Why did that happen? I like that color, but I feel like it should be darker. Alrighty, so we're leaving it at this. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, because today the stream was pretty quiet over here. I'm gonna keep uploading them on YouTube as far as it goes because I don't really stay on Twitch, as I've seen. And I'll see if I stream tomorrow to finish this, or if I just do it on my own. I don't know. So thank you so much. I hope you found this amazing. Me doing line art. And I'll see you in another video or in another stream. Bye!